Wassail, beautiful people, wassail. So I moved finally. I've gone north to Manta to break my journey. It's a long ride and I want to go overland because I like to see the changing landscape. So I'm in Manta and I didn't know it was just a stop off point. Wassail Bev. It was just a stop off point. And when I got here, I discovered I'm minus 0.1. Wassail Holly. So minus 0.1 degree away from the equator. So technically, I am still in the southern hemisphere. Wassail Bodhisattva babe. So yeah, I'm still in the southern hemisphere, but I'm so close to the equator. I've got to get there. I'm gonna say to you all, wassail para Marduk. So my brain's a bit dead. The Liffruma.com website is live. You can't buy yet, but you can look at different content. If you subscribe, you get some extra hidden content, which is the runes and word bursts of help for what they mean. But if you sign up, Wassail Green Leaf, if you sign up very quickly, subscribe to Liffruma.com, there's an email coming out tomorrow and it's got stuff about the Anglo-Saxon theatre, but it's also got some stuff that I've been confessing about my obsession with time and the fact that I'm from Greenwich, the prime meridian, the 0 degree longitude, and I'm now minus 0.1 degrees from the 0 degree line latitude, which is the equator. So I feel like I'm about to no, I can't say. That's all for the email that's coming out to all of the secret subscribers, the secret Liffruma squad, as you are at the moment. So if you sign up now, you should get included in the mail out tomorrow. You'll get given a secret password. Wassail Dark Fire Dragon. Yeah, do you know what, Greenleaf? It is, and it's not something that dawned on me until last night when I got here, and I don't want to tell you all these things. So it feels like I've come here to step out of time. So I've been obsessed with time because I'm from the prime meridian, and that, yeah, there are special perks. So I'm from the prime meridian and I'm obsessed with time because the world's time is set by the prime meridian. The 0 degree longitude is how we work out what time of day it is around the entire world. It's always linked to Greenwich Mean Time. And I feel as though I've come here to the equator to be on the 0 degree longitude, which I'm not quite at yet, but I'm so close. Wassail little wing. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you love the poems. So yeah, I feel like I'm about to step outside of time and shed and shift. I don't know. I'm going to Quito on Monday, which is the capital, and I'm fascinated to go there because I've been to a lot of places. Well, I say that, it's because I think I've been exploring more than I have, but I have a great love of the Andes and take a sweater. I've got them. I've got them in my bag. I've got long trousers. I'm still sitting in shorts. I had to turn the air conditioning off because there's air conditioning in here, but it's making me cold. Yeah, it is fascinating, the geography. Also, when you're on the equator, one travels faster than or covers more distance. I'm never quite sure how this works out as you spin because you're on the widest part of the world. So in 24 hours, you've got to get from there all the way all the way round to there. Whereas if you're on somewhere near the northern or southern poles, you've only got to spin that far in 24 hours. I don't know. But yeah, it's got something to do with the shell of time. I don't know. So the plan is get to Quito because, oh, fabulous. You can help me then, Greenleaf, because I am completely fascinated. I feel like I'm doing Null Island, but Null Island really is 0 degrees, 0 degrees. So I'm on 0 degrees latitude, but longitude I'm minus 80. Yeah, I'm going for pizza this evening, I think. Or something. I went today to a place called Taku Taku, which is a beautiful Peruvian dish. So I'll go back to my Andes story in a moment. I fancied some chicha morada because you know I have a love of chicha morada, and the chicha morada was nice, but their taku taku had never seen a frying pan. It was just mashed beans and rice with loads of paprika made into a big blobby shape, but it was not taku taku. And I had their other dishes. They just didn't taste right. They weren't in Peru, but it filled my belly. So the Andes, I love the Andes and the Andes loves me. So Quito is in the Andes, but it will be the furthest north I've been on the Andes, and I want to see what the indigenous cultures there are, because in the area I was staying in Montanita, there's a series of ancient civilizations that go back 8,000 years, and it's fascinating. They go back to a tribe that made rafts, and they sailed all over the Pacific trading, and their rafts were made from balsa wood, and balsa is the Spanish word for raft. And these very lightweight rafts could sail great distances, and they could carry up to 50 tons. 50 tons of goods for them to barter with. Particularly, they bartered with spondylus shells, and rather weirdly, they were one of the few areas on this Pacific coast of Ecuador where the Incas never actually conquered them but bartered with them, because they wouldn't tell anyone where you got the spondylus shells from. And the spondylus shells are sort of these wonderful orange shells, a bit like a kind of oyster, but not. But they were collecting oysters as well. But they were very famous for diving very, very deeply down into the bottom. I can't remember, it was meters that they're going down in one breath to collect these shells. But in order to do it with speed, they have these special stone weights that they attach to themselves. Wassail Steph! That they attach to themselves, and then they come back up, and then they pull the weights up on strings, but at first they're attached to them. And they have these amazing, wonderful seats that were often, they're like a U shape, and then they have like sometimes a little sculpture to hold the U up, and priests or elders of the community use these seats. Wassail Silky the fairy, and Some of the seats were on hills and mountains to be closer to their gods. And then some archaeologists popped by in 1906 and stole them all. So if you want to see the local culture's seats, they're in New York now. Maybe you should think about giving them back. Because people will always visit New York, but maybe here they could do with having some of their culture back. Because, you know, they were amazing people. So someone rebuilt one of the balsa wood rafts to test a journey to go from Ecuador to Asia. And twice they failed because woodworm ate the very light balsa wood. But interestingly, the locals, Wassail, Kathy, if you cut your balsa wood during a full moon, the woodworm doesn't get into the tree, apparently. Oh, yes, Wassail, Jim Andrews. Haven't seen you for ages. Closer to the sun than any of us. I am at the moment. I'm going to be a lot closer. Quito is 2,800 meters, which is less than Cusco. So I should be all right. I shouldn't get too bloody or crusty a nose. Wassail, Donna, Donna, Donna. And I'm going to be there for at least a month. There's a lot to explore. Some artist has rebuilt. I mean, look, I'm one to talk. The British have stolen so much, and there's always debates about giving back the Elgin marbles to, as they're called, but they're the Parthenon marbles. And unfortunately, when they created the British Museum, they created some kind of law that says you cannot return them. So before they could be returned, even if they wanted to, they have to do some kind of change to the law. But I also did once have a chat with a librarian who was at the Royal College of Music while I was studying there. She let me hold, probably I won't say her name, but she let me hold the original manuscript of a Mozart piano concerto, and that was stunning. But she was explaining to me that William Walton, the composer, his wife was trying to gather all his original manuscripts back for his castle museum that she was putting together after he died. And their argument for not returning the manuscript that they have of his, but they would give a facsimile, is if ever there was a fire and you have all of an artist's work in one place, you could lose the entire Wassail. You could lose the entire collection. And for a while, I was quite happy with that. But then I was like, maybe they just need fireproof safes, just like the Royal College of Music has. Though how fireproof a fireproof safe is, I'm never quite sure. So I might have to put the air conditioning on. I'm getting really hot because of channeling. Give me a moment. I need to go and find the switch. I also need some water. I also need my glasses. I can't see anything. So, Kathy, I was just explaining to everyone that if they subscribe today, they'll be included in tomorrow's email and they'll get their password. And I didn't finish explaining. I'm having a weird experience with time. Greenleaf, are you still here? To do with the geography of space and place. But that's all part of the email, so I'm trying not to speak about it. But I have been downloading the bare bones Have you been? Yeah, I have. I've been to a barber's today, and it was so weird. It was on Calais 13, and I had to walk up Avenida 13 to get there. So there, I was at one point. I was on the intersection of two roads numbered 13. So yes, if you sign up, you'll get this thing. So I've been uploading, downloading, or being given the idea of some kind of time ritual, a dimension hop, and a possible way in which you might approach it. But yes, please. Can you? But don't put them in the live chat. Would you, when you finish? Would you send me some resources on the time then, in the normal messaging, because it's easier to find. Wassail charity. It's going out tomorrow. The email. Yeah, so I've been given this energy information. There is a reading that's about the Vorder. And the Vorder, and this notion, I'm picking up more and more that our biome, being billions of years older than us, is actually somehow not just an interface between our physical cells and our consciousness within our body, but that it's also something that holds the frequency of love. It's the interface for love within our body, of the purity of love rather than the distortions that we often feel as love. But it's also some kind of interface of linear time. Your biome, it's all over you, it's inside you, but it gives us a linear time experience. And I still don't know. Maybe Quito will bring it all out. So, I don't know what we're doing, but I will say that I would very much plan, and I say plan because at the moment the deck keeps telling me to stop trying to manipulate time and let go of all time. I would like to go to the middle of the world town that's not far. Yeah, it is. Why am I getting a strange signal? I might have blocked out just then. So, calm. So yeah, there's lots of things. Sign up. Thank you. Yeah, I like that. And it stopped. There was no more time. So yes, there's something going on with time. There's definitely something going on with time. So yes, wow, what I was going to say was I would like to get to the middle of the world town, which is about 26 kilometers from Quito, on the 23rd, because I think it would be fun to be at the 0 degree equator line as Pluto finally hits 0 degrees of Aquarius. That's the plan, but who knows what time has. Yes, so many planets. There's so many planets in both Pisces and Aries at the moment. In fact, in Pisces, I think there's a 5-planet stellium, if you include the moon. So let's just ask Liffruma. So there is an email coming out tomorrow. It is a bit dense. The time bit's fine. The time bit's really interesting, but when it gets onto the Thethok and the Thethok, it really is Wassail Miguel. What's that about your 18-year-old? I just talked to my 18-year-old about letting go of time. They're only 18. They're only just getting hold of time. Yeah, Jupiter and Chiron, my Jupiter and Chiron are in Aries. In fact, my Chiron's are 0 degrees on my natal, and Jupiter went past there, but Jupiter's at the moment just catching Chiron to kind of bring us some healing. Well, I think maybe we're going to get some time. So I will tell you something interesting that I have that's not in the email. Obviously, there are different Futharks, the elder and the younger. Now, in the younger Futhark, which is kind of a Scandinavian medieval thing, there were only 16 runes, unlike the 24 in the elder Futhark, and there's 33 in the Anglo-Saxon Futhark. And yeah, I did say that differently, but I don't want to explain that because that's in the email. But in the younger Futhark, there's only 16. Now, they used the younger Futhark and the runes to cover the Metonic 19-year calendar. So there are 3 runes that are in the deck that are time runes. They actually represent years 17, 18 and 19. And there will be stories on that, but there's no harm in just bringing some information. There's also the wonderful staveless runes, which look like sci-fi runes. So let's just go in and say to the equator, baby, the great equator. Oh yes, I'm the great equator. What's it want to tell us? Go on an unseen journey. Oh, so we've got Hodden Raid, Rad, Raid. So here we have, go on an unseen journey. Oh, you see, there's something about, look, regardless of the fact that I'm tuning into it as a 0 degree equator line, and am I going faster, Greenleaf? I feel as though I'm hurtling very, very quickly. It's weird, I don't know, but I actually, because of the direction, because I'm on the Pacific coast, I'm actually hurtling backwards, and the planets and the stars and the sun are descending, but they're not really. It's me and the equator rising. So I need my geography teacher, my geography professor to confirm, because sometimes I imagine the physics of things and then in reality it can't be right. You see that, Greenleaf? Because my question that I have is, if I am on the equator spinning really fast to get around a 24-hour period, if I stood on the North Pole, could I just stand still and in 24 hours, would it just turn my whole body round once? Is it that slow there? Because I can't quite get my head around that, and it annoys me because I can get my head around most things. There's something here that's a down and an out energy. It's like a kind of a whiplash to take off. The geography professor will be with us soon, hopefully. They're getting all their resources ready. I don't know I'm being giddy or giddy. But I am giddy because I'm going so fast. I'm on the equator almost. I'm 0.1 degree away. It probably does. Oh God, have I got to go to the North Pole after here and just stand still? Wassail, David. So, I'm going to keep saying to everybody throughout this, because part of the reason for doing this today is to say, if you go onto the Liffruma.com website and subscribe, there's a third email coming out tomorrow that's got it's got some more of the rooms. It's got the Anglo-Saxon bolt-on coming out, and you'll be given a code word to let you get in, and then all of the rooms 1 to 24 will appear, and then 25 to 33. And you click on the bottom right hand writing that's like a kind of white writing, which is a bit confusing sometimes, and that will take you into a full picture of the card, plus 13 word bursts of information and words and possibilities that may link to the cards, but also to encourage you to create your own. Fabulous Wassail Blue Jean Natalie. So yes, there is a lot to do with a dimensional hop and a vorther. But you can, I did do a vorther reading sometime around Christmas, New Year. It's going to change. It's going to change. You're going to actually understand how to click the button. I couldn't. I was pressing and pressing and pressing and pressing and pressing, and I was like, why isn't it working? Because I had to press it in a particular part. So the Equator is saying a divine journey. There's something about planning. This has got to do with this ritual. I feel this is this ritual that's being... Oh, did the secret password come straight back? Because that's the other thing we wanted to happen. And you can click on the card image now to get in. It's all happening around me without me doing anything. It's amazing. So, that's fantastic. So, if you subscribe, you'll get the thing straight away. You'll get the password, and you get a little special space to go into to put the password in. And I love the password. It's so beautiful. I can't tell you what it is. You have to subscribe. Do you see this whiplash down and out? It's like that. Now I see it. So the poles don't really rotate, but the angle shift. Really? You're going to make my head melt more than it did trying to write the email about Thewthorks. And all the many letters that go into making very complicated writing systems. I also read the most amazing story the other day about a guy who was, I think he's half British, half Japanese, growing up in Japan, speaks fluent English and Japanese at home, but he's dyslexic in English and an absolute amazing star student in Japanese. So it was triggering research into how dyslexia works and about how English is one of the most able to provoke dyslexia in children. It's because everything's spelt so badly. And that does all feed right the way back in to the Anglo-Saxon Thewthork that you will receive in the email tomorrow. And how we had a vowel shift, and then we sucked French in, and then we turned all of our Anglo-Saxon and French words. We started using an italic alphabet. And so it's just become almost an impossible language where you have to read, you have to be able to identify sounds of words, particularly vowels, because there's only 5 vowels, and yet you can say them multiple 20, 30 different ways. And that's not the same in many languages. That's also beautiful about something like Italian. It's a, e, o, u, and then you put them in combinations and you say both of the words. You don't have these weird sounds that slide and glide between each other. So, yeah, brain melty. I, what I was going to say about this, this is to do with this equator story. This notion that I am on the equator, but you can all do this at any place. It's this idea of stepping out of time briefly, letting go of the hand of time, letting go of everything, and I really mean everything. I've spent the last 3 months dumping anchors, but dropping anchors, creating anchors. So this has got something to do with that process in which you let go of everything in your world, everything you know, everything you trust, everything you love, in order to step across a bifrost, a Billrost precipice and just join another dimensional time that's better suited to a good, shinier, energetic future for you and all those people that you just thought you left behind to get there. They're all in the other dimension. So, yes, there is a thing called orthology, which is writing systems, alphabetic writing systems, and that's what we're doing. And of course, obviously, this is really very much about 0 degrees, because we're bringing the prime meridian to the equator, and the prime meridian is in my blood. Wassail Denise. Yeah, do you know what it is, Denise? It's the barbershop. But you know, the barbershop doesn't clean my skin. But I did actually, I didn't show you. I didn't share it in the end. I went to Agua Blancas the other day, and it's an ancestral commune, historic, and the people have lived there for thousands of years, but they have a sulfurous water place. But Wassail Ariel, but they also offer mud. So here, if it shows up, is me completely covered in mud. Try and hold it a bit still. And they cover you in mud, and then you let the mud cake all over you. It's very good for sunburn, apparently. And then you get in the sulfurous waters, and it all washes off, and your skin feels better. Yeah, it was a complete mud mask, like the whole body. And I forgot to change into my swimming trunks when I got there. So, my pants got completely, they were covered todo lodo, completely in clay. Oh yeah, do you know, Ariel, you can buy Dead Sea mud online and you can do it at home, which is what I used to do. I do like a mud, glorious mud. There's nothing quite like it for cooling the blood. I think that might be Flanders and Swan's Song of a Hippopotamus. I don't know. So I've just been given the gift of Gifu. And I want to just, before I talk about what Gifu might mean here, we're going to have a Gifu booth on the Liffruma website, and that's going to be a place where you can leave donations towards purchasing decks for people that just don't have the money to do it, so that we can continue as a group, as a community, to gift people their healing oracle. You know, it's really important to acknowledge that it is more difficult for some to do this. So we're going to have a Gifu booth, and you can leave donations, and people can leave their names, and it will just go up the list. The earliest people that will put on there will get theirs, and if someone, you know, later gets a deck, they can take their name off. I don't know how we work all that out, but It's what we're doing. So, yeah, this gift, what I'm seeing is this gift, because I'm on the Equator story, this is my own private Null Island that we all need to find. I think we all need to start looking for a moment in which we let go of time. It's interesting that we were all given a chance to kind of slip a little out of time during the pandemic. We no longer had diary dates that we had to keep, and so we were all given a chance to slow down. But this is about somehow being very still, to slow down and find the point at which our timeline intersects. It's almost consciousness and physical body, and that I would describe as os being the physical cells, and is being the consciousness that comes down to fill the cells. And so somehow this is the point at which your os meets your is. But for a transformative hop to some kind of unseen, I want to say unbelieved dimension, because the end of this is plan, seek, swoop. But it's almost like plan, seek, skip. Lift yourself out and transform your being and your life to a new dimensional tapestry that may, in many ways, almost have the same stitchings of the past, but it now has new stitchings being fed down into your now from a new future that you're creating. Wassail, codes of harmony. Codes of harmony, I feel like your name's very, very on point, because Sirius is around at the moment recoding everything, right the way through the eclipse and into mid-May, maybe June. Sirius is an interesting asteroid because she likes to hide things. She could almost be here in this hod card, this hidden energy, the things that are there, but she's planning things, but you don't need to know that. Yeah, harmonic convergence is a beautiful thing. So, if you go on the Liffruma, if you go on Liffruma.com and subscribe, you will get a return email right now that will give you access to the future. That will give you access to hidden content, which is better images of the runes and their poems so that you can look at them. So yes, there are plans and passwords. But also tomorrow there will be the third email going out, and that's all about this equator, the great equator, time, how we deal with dimensions. But this is interesting because I was just waving my hand in that direction for the future, but this card, this Tuagnus card, this is schooled, one of the norms. And if we're going to talk about skipping into a new future, the interesting thing about your new future is you have a storeroom. You have a space in the future where dreams are placed, where people are placed, where we keep things. Oh, do that. I'm so glad that the clan mothers love Liffruma. I've been getting a lot of mother frequency of my own mother and my own father turning up, but more mothers. I'm getting a lot of mother energy. She keeps turning up, she keeps putting her birthday in other readers' readings. So yes, future storeroom. But you can have quite a chaotic, shambolic pantry, future pantry, storeroom, where you've not really put everything in the right order and you've got loads of crap that's just hanging around in your future storeroom that's just taking up shelf space for if you could just clean out your future briars, clean it out, then you make space for new nestlings to pour down and return to you in the now, gifting you in that moment where your Os and your East intersect. I'm glad you like Liffruma. I'm so excited. I just wish you could all have your decks now. Yeah, there is always moments. I do want to say sort of the sort of feminine energy, but I am from a long time ago trying to avoid over-gendering personally, because and weirdly here the local people, I read stories about how one of the early cultures, it wasn't the Las Vegas culture, that was the oldest one here, the Meadows culture, but one of the early cultures had stories of, it said homosexual giants, but I think they meant hermaphrodite, genderless giants, just like we have in Norse mythology. Oh, Ariel, I forgot, yes, you have the deck. And you are enjoying it. I'm glad to hear that. I have to say, my favourite game at the moment is just watching which Liffruma card Sam will pull next, and to see how she reacts with them. I enjoyed her spotting the transcendental hummingbird on the Yana card. So, what is the point of this shift? What is the point of this Gifu dimensional transformation, this skipping across the Bifrost? Look, 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 look. It's the returning light. Yeah, I really am loving seeing the cards just turn up. So this is the returning light. And for those of you who might already know and those who don't, just here you will see Reem. It's Reem's photo that she had with two arms up shown from behind, and we reproduced it here and gave her the most beautiful dress of starlight as she returns the light from the darkness. So I have a real soft spot for that card because Reem's on it. And we've called Reem Hell. But look, it says here in the card, Hell's disruption opens portals of divine reconstruction. And that's almost what this Gifu energy that we're looking at with the prime meridian meets the equator. And then it says burn like hell brightly, because we have to redefine hell, because the Christian hell with two L's is named after Hell and Helheim. But what they did was, which they do with everything, they just took the lady out of the equation and shoved a bloke in there. So there's another reason for a mother goddess energy to return. And then we have, oh look, saying here, we've gone from 76 to 75, almost there's a step backwards, just before returning your light, step backwards, review your world, Wassail read to golden. So Hengetru is the gallows. And this is about wisdom and what you have to let go of to achieve something you want. Yeah, it's kind of like a sacrifice, but there's something in this energy today that's about, it's no real sacrifice, it's a courage. Because you're not letting go of anything other than the old dimensional timeline that was imprisoning you. So by leaping forwards, by finding this point at which your Os and East meet, your longitude and latitude, your sense of time and your sense of place, you return your light and you come into a new frequency. kind of want to make the cards have this this red. I feel like we need a red card next to go in there. Oh, I do love this deck so much. And I'm excited because this deck, in order to get it to me here in Ecuador, because the post system is very difficult here, Kathy sent me a deck and it got as far as Quito and then it never came from Quito and it never went back. So this deck was sent to somebody in England who was a cousin of the person I was staying with in Montanita, and he brought this from England to Quito, and then it was sent in a courier from Quito to me here. So this is a well-traveled deck, and it's on its way to the equator. It's nearly there. It's nearly in the middle of the world. So what else? 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 Did I get my red cards? No. Oh. Who cares? I got these two, and I don't need a red card now because these are so beautiful. I want to say the Lagoon Legacy, and then I'm going to show you the cards. The Lagoon Legacy, 21 and 23. This is very much Elder Thuthark. Yeah, we're doing magic grid work. I've got my divining rods. Look at this pair. So, the cosmic ocean and your original birthright. It's powerful stuff, so powerful. Look at the way they sweep here. And this wonderful yellow gets really picked out when this card's there, and it's just at the back of that room. So here's a little test. Who knows what card 22 is? From the Elder Thuthark, what's between these two? So I said this is the Lagoon Legacy. I'm going to find it, I'm going to dig it out, I'm going to do a pat trick, I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to tell you what was before it and what was after it. Yes, ing, 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 ing. I knew somebody would know this very quickly. 22 is ing. Now, it has two different, it has in the Elder Thuthark, it has a different symbol to the Anglo-Saxon Thuthark. And although I was trying to stick with the Anglo-Saxon, the Elder Thuthark images, rune shapes, for that one I had to change it because obviously I used the Gununga gap as the traditional Elder Thuthark ing. So that is ing in the Elder Thuthark, this. But that had to be the Gununga gap. So ing became the Anglo-Saxon Thuthark version. And there it is, the beautiful card of the water meadow. So the Lagoon Legacy is to light your water meadow. They look gorgeous together. So beautiful, and look how this comes from that. It's so wonderful. So the cards either side of this were candle, which is to light your sacral seat of your soul energy, and it came with Stenknes, Nithogir, the great test. So the test of this equator thing that we're doing is, do you have the emotional power to step across a void, step into the Bilros, the Bifrost, to jump the Rainbow Bridge, and to allow yourself to turn up through a portal in a new dimension? It's already seeded for you, but we have to find the courage to achieve that. So, that's gorgeous. And I'm going to pull the cards back. I'm really warm. I've got the air conditioning on as well. I don't think I've got it on very low. No, I haven't. Let me. She puts it on really, really cold, but I've been in such warm spaces for so long I couldn't cope with the cold. And I wasn't going to put clothing on. Because it's like 90 degrees humidity outside. Wassail, Paris, Paris, Paris. So that's the little equator equation. Oh, look, I was not gonna. So the other thing, I didn't have a subject, now I do. I have been seeing master numbers, and I hate the word master numbers because it's so male gendered. So I'm going to call these mistress numbers. But mistress numbers have 3. They're not 2. Master numbers are just 2. Mistress numbers, as I'm calling them today, are triples. So the fact that a triple has just fallen out, and I saw this number today, and then an hour and 11 minutes later I saw the other. So I've got 333 here, and I've been observing 444 and 222 today. So let's just, for today, let's look at mistress numbers and ask what it is they want us to do. Oh, look, this is the thorn. This is the great portal. Okay, so this is the giant gateway, the Thurizaz. Thurizaz was the father of Galdier. And this is a giant blackthorn portal, a fairy portal. And then here, look, what is this if it's not the 2 choices? This is, again, the Gifu that we had earlier, the intersection of your os with your is, or ice. and then jumping from one portal to another, going through the gateway to bring yourself into a new dimensional reality. So yeah, it's a very interdimensional deck. Right, let me continue shuffling. Mistress numbers. Oh, you see. Yes, mention mythology has got all the. It's got some information. It won't have all, because there's always something that needs to be added to, and that's the beauty of learning. But there's pesky pronunciation on how you can think about saying the words. You can say them how you want, really, because we don't know how people spoke so long ago. Here, explore the emotional bleeds. Do you see? Explore the leeches. Alchemize the emotional bleeding. This is a really very important card in the deck. It's one that you don't really want to see. And yet, if we could just see this card. Oh, what did you have for 3s? Codes? Yes, I've got two of the ravens. I've got this one and I got that one now. I've got hugging and mugging. Or hugging and thugging. See, this is a divine energy. This is a frequency that offers us the chance of growth. This is how you explore the difficult energy of thorn, the uncomfortable energy, the prickly energy. But it's also how we're going to make this leap from one void to the next, one portal to the next portal. I'm getting slightly burpy, which means it's the truth, and coughing is lying. That was a lie. So explore and alchemize your bleed. This card, Wassail, Starry Mud. I got covered it head to foot in mud the other day, Agua Blancas. So this is Ran and her daughters. So alive and eager, desiring to dive and drink in the new. All the old gold has dulled. Inventiveness slips in like a sea fret, curling its damp, vapory tendrils towards the land where you stand. The crawling, calling frequency of open waters, Ran's mystical nautical daughters craft the waves, the crashing adventures, seeking you to sail forwards to explore life, to alchemize potential and soar to your sacred shore. And the end of this poem is the important part here. Now see how clearing pain makes space for new treasures deeper in your heart. So, it's time for new treasures in the heart. So there was Mer Pirates. Someone had that. Whose reading was that? It was series. Capricorn. Was it? I'm so rubbish at remembering. I think it was Wassail Charity Ferguson. So is there anything else that you would like to say, Ran and your mystical daughters? You'll be glad to know that Ran and her mystical daughters turn up in the Goblin and the Crow story. Well, I don't remember which chapter it is. Right, so look, this is interesting now. In which order do they need to come in? It's time to burst from the shadows. But you see, that's exactly what this card is. You've got to go inside the shadows because this is where the nutrients are. This is where the golden keys are. I'm going to read this one because I like this poem. And actually it's got prose in it. So that'll be helpful codes because it brings up prose. So this is Nide, which is shadows or nutrients, the war rune, the fear tune, the battle hymn, the grim song sung too long, the war of one to be one alone in our shadows. We hold the bloodied ravens fast. Whisper a fresh melody in the silence. Murder our crows and grow stronger. Thoggen's golden key of life. This feels like this is Liffruma self-promoting. So Thoggen is the silent Valkyrie. And if you go on to liffruma.com and go down to the spread section, there's a Valkyrie spread, and Thoggen is indeed the center of the spread. So I feel like that's talking about that, energy, breaking free from our own restrictions. Oh, you see, they're showing me this as something that needs to come down to trigger the arrow to burst from the U-bow. So I'm going to read you this as well. I haven't been doing poems for a while, but they want to come out today. So here's the poem for Etbursten. Just have a look at the card. You can see Etbursten, it's the U-bow and the arrows. And you can see the arrows here moving in different directions, and the final arrow, the one bursting free. So here we have tension creaks and arches as the ancient U-bow suppresses rayless tortures endured for eons. The arrow shelf only holds so long. Even when the serving point is pulled tight and knuckled back, fastened hearts demand their liberation. The taut bowstring knows this faux obsessive pairing will eventually break free from its narcissist fist. At some point, it will burst out and flee the archer's control. Fletchers gift arrows feathers to sail safely away, flying alone to target a new home. So a fletcher, for anyone who doesn't know, is the old word for the person who created the feathers that go on an arrow. And so when someone has the surname Fletcher, their ancestry usually means somewhere in their past they were arrow makers. And then we have, sorry, I wasn't paying attention to anyone there. So here we have Wendhorn. So burst free and unbind yourself from all the restrictions, carrying the golden treasures that Thogan is pointing out in your shadows, the nutrients to help you grow. When a seed first opens, the first thing a seed does is it plunges into the darkness. It plunges into the shadows. Why does it do it? It's seeking to root itself in the shadows because the tree knows that in the darkness are all the soil's nutrients for growth to make your personal Yggdrasil tree stronger and able to reach higher. So this is Wendhorn. I love Wendhorn because the poem on this card was created by you all and Rob. I don't think the video of it is up anymore because Rob deleted a lot of videos. But you all channeled messages with him, and that became the poetry here. So this is your poem because you all wrote it. Dichotomies of densely tangled emotions with the remedy implied in the diagnosis. The moon calls to hear a visceral, communal howling of human wolves shouting at elements. The cure for pain is in the pain. Drain it out with an angry ancestral shout. This is the sound of the unbinding. Return the chaos to the draining refrain of order. What's found after the dance of disentanglement? Your cure. I'm being drawn really strongly. I always like, this is the sound of the unbinding, because this is the unbinding. This is the rune that unbinds you. There's something Wheel of Fortune in this, but this energy of return the chaos to the draining order, to the draining refrain of order. Sometimes our lives are so ordered that we need to return chaos in order to throw everything up in the air so that we can howl at the moon and call out for a solution to our troubles. And you know, within the chaos is the birthing of every limitless potential in the Ganunga. So sometimes we have to put things back. Put that back where you found it. So let's just see what else comes out. Weird Hamir is here, Weird Hamir is here, Weird Hamir is here. So weird, like the Weird Sisters. Weird Hamir is a very, very Anglo-Saxon concept. It means something supernatural, something preternatural, something from the other side of the veil. It's weirdness, and it is the word weird. It became weird to mean something strange, and we developed it into saying, oh, you're a bit weird. And actually, if someone says you're a bit weird, you should feel a bit chuffed, because actually they're acknowledging that you're not behaving to their standards. You stand alone as something more supernatural, something more connected to the magic of all the runes that are hidden in this early form of writing. You will find the entire early Thuthark hidden in there. Weird Hamir is one of the roots of the Yggdrasil tree. It's where the Norns live, and every morning they draw water from the well, whether it's Mimir's Brook or Urza's Brook. They draw the water and they water all of the roots of the Yggdrasil tree, while the cockerel crows the dawning of the day in the branches. Yeah, it is good to be weird. I love to be a little bit weird. And the Weird Sisters are in Macbeth of Shakespeare, and they're seen as kind of Nornic figures predicting futures. So, Oaths. There is Oaths. If this was East, that would be amazing, but actually it's 4 and 6, 10, completion and a new beginning. You need to spark life back into the cells of your body. Sounds found deep in every cell call out, forcing the source of the God voice of the earth's breath to burst and release. Each atom an unhatched cosmic egg of unmatched mystical potential. To rise up is to speak up, to give song to ancestral codes of healing, nestled in all our vessels of the world soul. Galdier your best life, reach forwards and commune. So Galdier is the spoken form of the Vanir magic, and Vanir are the opposite of the Odin's gods, the Azir. The Vanir are a borderless society. They're a very friendly, and Vanir means friend. They're the friendly gods as opposed to the more warring, drunk gods. And Galdier is to speak magic into being. It's to cast a spell with the voice. And it comes from the old verb garlan, which is to speak or to sing, and that's where the word nightingale comes from, because it was the bird that sang with such magical beauty in the evenings. So Galdiering your best life is to speak the life, the better life you want as you move forwards. But this is about going in to all those dead cells that you're not paying attention to in the body. Those parts of your body that need to be loved a little bit more, that need to be included in your wholeness, that are part of your os, your sacred vessel. Every part of you, every cell is sacred. And it's time to go in and spark up a new love affair with your own selves. Yes, and finding your own unique voice too. So, let's give this a little rifle. So, here we go. What other message, Liffruma, would you like to share right now? So close to the equator, Liffruma. So close to the equator, and it's like, yeah, I know. I'm telling you that story. Stop keep telling me the story. I'm saying bring your prime meridian time to the equator and do something with it. Bring your oast to your east. And begin again in a new dimensional place. This poem is about the poplar tree and how the poplar tree after a fire has these runners that it's already had out in the ground. Almost that's your Bilderos, your Bifrost bridge. And when this all burns down, when you burn away the time, up pops a brand new tree from the same root system, but in a new place, in a new dimensional pathway. This is the gift that we are being given at the moment, to work our way towards a dimension hop, a time jump, or a timeless jump. Because you're going to be out of time briefly when you do it. So, I think that's enough for now. We've learned a lot today. I've learned, thanks to Greenleaf, I'm learning lots about geography of time and space and movement. And maybe we'll learn something about GPS systems, because they're a bit cranky. And we've also learned that if you subscribe now, you get an immediate return mail that gives you access and the password to the secret content. So that's great. Tomorrow a new email goes out that will have the 9 bolt-on runes and a description of the Anglo-Saxon through thought, not through thought. I'm not telling you why that is, because that's all in the email. And I'm on the equator nearly. I'm just 0.1 degree away from the equator, but weirdly the journey to Quito is not going to take me through it, as far as I'm aware. I will have to make a proper effort to go to the middle of the world town, which is a special town that they have. And my understanding is that there's 2 equators here, because Wassail, Ricky, there's 2 equators here apparently, because they put one of them in the wrong place, or they put them both in the wrong place. I'm not sure. Yeah, it will be coming. It will either be tomorrow or be the next day. Kathy and I keep trying to make plans on certain things. And Liffruma goes, that's not my timing. Thank you, Parry. Agua Blanca. So, if you want, I mean, you'll be able to read the poems on the cards for the first 33, which is the Anglo-Saxon Thuthark, but not the 0. It comes at the very end, because the Elder Thuthark didn't have a 0. It does sometimes have a blank room. Wassail Tracy J. So yes, there's lots of fun to be had. You can leave comments as well, all over. Do leave comments, because I'd like you all to start talking to me yourselves. Eventually, when we understand the website a bit more, we will open a chat room for you all. but we're not sure at the moment how we moderate it. And we have so many things to do that I am constantly exhausted because I've written 10 chapters that need editing for the crow story. And what's interesting is the goblin and the crow story takes a card, I shuffle a card, and then the chapter has to be how that card fits into the story. So that's all going to be fun. There's a lot more spreads that have been created, but I don't want to put all them up until you can buy the deck and get them, and then we'll start to explain them. Thank you, Codes of Harmony. So it's just beautiful to be so close. So, any other questions? Any other questions? Yeah, the Valkyrie spread is very powerful. Wassail at World's End Tarot and Astrology. How are you? Hola. Don't you live near a water meadow? Didn't you say once that you had a water meadow just outside your house? I keep dipping in because I can't read where I'm far away without my glasses. I really don't know where they are. Oh, it wasn't you. Okay, sorry. Well, it's lovely to see you as always. So, rather interestingly, I couldn't book anywhere to stay in Quito. I'm just going to show you this because there's a lot of really interesting numerology in Liffruma because it's an oracle deck with 78 cards. So there's 0 to 77 for numbers. So there's a lot of mirrored numbers and special magic that takes place within the numbers. Now, tomorrow, the email, if it comes out tomorrow, it will go up to number 33. So you will have 1 to 33. So the Elder Thuthark plus the additional runes that were needed to explain the vowels that took place in Anglo-Saxon Britain. So I couldn't find anywhere to stay, and then I arrived here in Manta having shifted, and then I thought I'd better quickly book somewhere to stay. And I went on, and immediately a new place was listed that wasn't on there before, and it was so perfectly beautiful that I thought, absolutely, I'm going to book this. And when I booked it and got the address has something to do with the numbers 34 to 78. It was pointing out the remaining part of the Liffruma deck that hasn't yet been published, but will be while I'm staying at that place. So there's a lot of Liffruma magic that keeps coming out. Plus, the place had a discount on it of 68%, which is obviously the year I was born. So it was all just seeming very magical as I moved nearer to the equator. So beautiful, people. Yeah, it's 34 to 78, but it is kind of 34 to 77 plus 0. Because there's no card 78, but there are 78 cards. Because there's a 0. But there it is. The magic of Liffruma singing. And today I went to get my hair cut on Road 13 next to Avenue 13. So I was on 1313, and on the bottom of the deck is Ecuador, which is 49, which is a 13. Bearing fruits. It's all bearing fruits. True that. So, beautiful people, skip on over to Liffruma.com, subscribe. You'll get an email back straight away with the passcode, and you can go and start looking at the hidden content. You can really explore the cards a lot more, and there are still some secrets. Once you start to get your decks, we will reveal some new things for you that are there. So beautiful, beautiful people. So I've got this really weird look. the headboard on this bed in this little tiny hotel. So high. Oh, that's great. You've had a name change. That's what's been confusing me. Thank you, Parry. I feel like I just wanted 2 more people to arrive, so it went to 3339, but someone's left, so it's 3039 now. So that didn't work out. So, beautiful Wassail, Denise. I've never seen such an enormous headboard. Oh, cool. Got 33 likes, and so it's all worked out perfectly. And Wassail, eat me. So, I am going to go. I couldn't recall what the original name was. Thank you. It was Missy Kate. And that's interesting because the Mistress numbers, I was going to say, I feel like I want to call them the Missy numbers. The Missy numbers. Triple numbers. Master numbers are double numbers. Missy numbers are triple numbers. So, I'm going to wave goodbye. I'm just not switching off. But Wassail, beautiful people, beautiful people, beautiful people. Liffruma.com. Again, you can go to Liffruma.com, subscribe. You only need to do it once. You don't need to hit subscribe in all the different places. Also, just to explain, when it says Bifrost to blog, that means take the bridge, press the link and journey to the blogs. So, oh, they're cute hands. I like those there. So yeah, you'll get an email back, subscribe, and you can look at the hidden content, and you can start creating your 13-word bursts. Okay, and the missing emails will eventually be added as content, but not straight away, because we like having a secret squad. Yeah, triple numbers are happening a lot at the moment. I've been getting them for the last few days, endlessly, like comically. I'm just waiting to zip up to quadruple numbers next. Wow, look, 3:30 p.m. Oh no, I've got to hang on for 3 minutes then, because for someone somewhere it's going to be 3:33. So it must nearly be that in your time. You keep seeing 555. I saw 33322214444 today. So we're getting there. I'm hanging on for that moment. Where's my phone? It's now 3:30. I'm going to just shuffle the cards because I really need it to be 333 for somebody, since that was the card numbers that came out. I see it's repeating journeys. The journey. That was right at the beginning. The unseen journey that we're all on. I'm just keeping an eye. What's the time? 31, 2 minutes. And then we'll hit 333 and I'll hit the bye button. Oh, look. Talking of threes, if you've got threes, you need a 6 and a 9 to make a completion. 2. Waken. Day slides to night and back to day as we slumber and glide through clouds of grey. Wake up! So much room for yawning, sprawling, gloomy, slow, pointless, lifeless moments in time we call living. Wake up. Fall down and stumble. Trip yourself up and look around. Wake up. Smash your way out of the illusion and wake up. See the soft rays of the sun that shine on the living Midgard. Awaken. Do. 32. I'm going and checking. 20 seconds. 20 seconds to the magical 333 that's in the reading, and we'll be hitting someone's time zone. And there it is. 333 now with a 7, which is a completion and a new beginning. So, while it is 333 and we have been returned to the point at which your Ost meets your East, have a think about how you fill your molecules with your loving consciousness, and we will catch up with this ritual as it progresses. So, wassail, beautiful people.